Hello there, back for another video. I'm sorry for the microphone quality. I tried to do something about it, didn't work. Today we're going to try something a little bit different. So, as you probably could tell from last video, it was pretty boring. It was just me talking about what I was doing, which wasn't doing a whole lot. So today, I am going to be talking about stuff over what I'm doing. Okay? So today's topic is going to be over dad. Now, for those of you who don't know, I had no idea until this morning, but there's this YouTube channel called Dad. Dad is a YouTube series, right? Following this guy who seems almost a bit robotic. This man is referred to in the show as Dad. So, what I wanted to talk to you about was theories regarding what I've heard about this thing from this show that I watched this morning, which was Inside the Mind. When I watched the show, when I watched the questions, comments, and whatnot of this guy's ideas of what happens in Dad, I can't say I agree with them. Not completely, at least. What happens, in my opinion, in this show, right, is, if you haven't watched it yet, I'll put a link in the description. In fact, I'll give you a good 5 seconds to pause and then come back to it. Okay. 2, 1. Okay, now I assume that you have watched the show by now. Trust me, it's a really good show, which you already know because you've already seen it. Anyway, so this show is, well, quite strange to be frank. It follows the life of a guy who is referred to as Dad. Now, when I watched the Inside of the Mind, they talked about how Dad was, he was, well, not a normal human. He was more of a robot. Which you can totally see, and that's a very compelling argument. However, when looking at it that way, right? Looking at it in a different way, actually, I have a different idea about it. Well, for starters, right? I believe that it's not following a story of an AI who just is trying to mimic human emotions and stuff. I believe what's actually taking place there is a human. However, most of the show is taking place in his head. Now, watching the show, you'll know exactly when this person would be talking in his head. You can see it by the background. The background usually for this show is almost like a reddish color on a screen going from left to right, which is kind of it's pretty cool looking, but what I'm trying to get at here is the story takes place in this guy's head. It's the reason why he doesn't speak. Now, if you watched the whole series, which as of this recording is 20 minutes of the first part, and then however many minutes of the second one, how many episodes, sorry. It's about 6 episodes. Watching the 6 episodes, over those episodes, you find that whenever a character is thinking, they don't speak. Now, how you know this is that it's not just what happens in the backdrop, is by the fact that in the story itself, the 6th episode, I believe, is the one I'm talking about. The 6th episode shows a story of my gosh, these gas are so annoying. Shows the story of the daughter, which, for those of you who didn't do the homework and did not actually watch the show, is her actual name. That's how she is referred to. Anyway, that gas just despawned. Anyway, so in the 6th episode, she appears into the real world, right? Now, when she appears in the real world, the reason I say that you can speak in the real world but not in the mind is based off of Dad, who in like halfway through the first season or act, as they call it, he speaks there. He speaks in the story. He speaks outside in the real world. Now, it's weird because he even points it out himself. Dad has voice, which is what he says because, well, yeah. What I'm thinking, right, is everything that's happening in his mind is his thoughts of what's happening in real life. So his wife leaving him, for example, he can't find a logical reason for that. So he fabricates an idea of something he did wrong because he loves his wife and his wife loves him. So why on earth would she leave him? He can't think of anything he's done wrong, so he has to make a reason. And there lies in Dad's magazine. Now, what I believe what the magazine represents is the dad thinking that the reason why his wife is, well, leaving him is because he's not thinking of her constantly. Instead, instead he talks a whole lot about his company, which I'm assuming he works for. Whatever it is. Can't remember right if you give me a hot second. Currently I'm in the game. I'm just trying to see if it works how it is in the real world. You know, with the what's it called? The infinite lava source. Infinite lava source. I'm not entirely sure. Here we go. I was just looking for the episode. Sorry. The job he works for, right? It would be True Value. There we go. As someone, the second video I'm going to be putting is the one that I talked about earlier, that I originally thought was, where I originally saw this stuff. Well, yeah. He talks about how on the actual video itself, his YouTube channel, he's only subscribed to 2 places. One of those being the True Values YouTube channel, which makes me think, along with what that video talked about, that he works for them. And if you see from the first few episodes, he's constantly thinking about it and trying to get better and stuff. He ultimately doesn't really enjoy the job, but he's putting his mindset completely on it in order for him to leave his job eventually. Oh, it doesn't work. Oh well. Oh, that's a thing. Well, let's hope this will eventually catch on fire. Anyway, yeah, so I believe that he works for True TV, and his true intentions also pointed out, well, in the YouTube series and in the video that I'm talking so much about, this video made by Inside the Mind. He doesn't really want to be there. He wants to be a YouTuber. In fact, he wants to be YouTuber #1, as he says in the show. In the actual video itself, it shows that it shows a clip of him destroying a Felix the cat over a pie with a sledgehammer, which is pretty telling that he wants to become #1 YouTuber by destroying the #1 YouTuber. Well, not destroy per se, but he wants to beat the #1 YouTuber. Which, yeah. So, by him putting so much time and effort into his company that he works for, it's not helping his, he thinks that's the reason his wife is leaving him and sleeping with a neighbor. Now, why you would think that, well, as you hopefully have seen the video from Inside the Mind, you see the neighbor whacking his wood with his axe in one shot, which, let's see here. Currently, I am a small YouTube channel, which I am sending it all to all my friends, which means my primary people are teenage boys, which means I'm sure you will get the reference. Anyway, so, with that, right, he then, in a later episode, it shows his wife, which her name is Cheryl in the story. She is caressing and even sniffing this neighbor's wood. Anyway, the dad figures out that she's cheating on him, and he's not okay with that. So what he does, he starts taking what he thinks the wife likes about him. Sees, well, first of all, he talks about his shed, which, his shed, that he wishes he could do that. Then he'd have a shed bigger and better than the neighbor's, which could be inferred that he's trying to find reasons his wife left him for the neighbor. And the one reason he decides to talk about is, well, the fact that the neighbor has a better shed than him. Yeah. So he goes... So he goes out and he goes out and destroys what's supposedly this neighbor's shed. Now, if you noticed from what I told you earlier, most of these things are happening inside of his mind. In fact, very few things on the actual in Act 1 and Act 2 are actually part of the outside or real world, which is kind of surprising in my opinion. It's very telling that there's not a whole lot there that he does. Now, what I am thinking, right, one of my main things I'm trying to say, right, is Inside the Mind talked about how he was clearly a robot, which I don't agree with. What I see the guy as, Dad as, I see him as a person who has real emotions and stuff, but has just been put into the worker drone, like, has been put into the life of an employee, and has turned out to be one of the best employees there are. Oh my gosh, another gas. Again? Oh. Anyway, he's actually one of the better workers they have, because he's become what can be seen in like our society as what's referred to as a worker drone, which, well, heck, drone is a piece of machine, which in and of itself gives it the technology basis that he looks so much like he's trying for perfection and all that, just like how it is in a robot might do. So I'm saying he's not actually a robot, but he is a human. Now, everything in his mind you see almost whenever you see these little red or blue balls, his thought process has changed drastically. To my knowledge, the most present ball is the red one. My idea of what the red ball is a logical ball. Despite the emotion that people feel, or whatever, it's the ball that when he sees, he becomes more, like, keen to, available with what his life is. For example, one of the times that a red ball appears is when he's in the video, he loves his wife, right? In this video, he says over and over again, he loves his wife, he loves his wife, he loves his wife. All up until he sees a blue ball. Then all of a sudden, he says he loves Diane, he loves Diane. Now, for this person, Diane, it seems that Diane is the wife's friend, who you can hear wife talk about, when talking about, when it seemed to be understood that she's talking about to someone who is not Diane. In one of the episodes, you see him longing for a kiss of his wife, so he wanders off to the right side of the screen. Now, this is important, because if you think about it, the right side of the screen is the blue side, right? Well, if we've determined that the red side is the logical side, then it would only make sense that the blue side is the non-logical, it's the emotional kind. Wait a second. I got some stuff mixed around. I'm sorry. The blue ball appears when he thinks about Diane. That's the thing that happens. When he talks about Diane and his wife and loving that, the blue ball appears once he starts saying he loves Diane, after the red ball appears. Anyway, the blue ball then appears and he then says, hello, which, on first viewing, I was very confused. Was he saying, like, hello slang? Which wouldn't make sense with his worker drone personality, you know? So I marked that off. I then asked myself, could it possibly be that he's talking, like, saying a name, like Ella or something? Oh my gosh, that was close. Which, I then looked back, and it doesn't seem like it. Looking back through the video itself, it says Ello, so it was Ello who was being spoke of, not Ella or a name or whatever that I had previously thought. Of course, I couldn't find a English subtitle for it. I could only find Spanish or Japanese, the Japanese didn't even dub that part, which could indicate that it was slang. But then again, I don't think it is. So, now, I don't know what this means. Then please comment in the comments below and so I can see what you guys think about it, but I have no idea what it means. But the point is, the blue side of the brain, the blue side of his head, his mind, is first time appearing, and it almost blanks his slate, because that's the last thing he says, and that's it. He doesn't say anything else, and it almost like clears his mind. He's confused almost at the end of it. This comes on to show that I believe he is part of the mind. He is in control, which is a direct contrast to what was said by Inside the Mind, who talked about he's not in control and he's being worked by someone else, and thus the server and stuff, because he's robotic and such. I think his server all of that is just a metaphor for his life, you know? I don't think he's actually in a server. I think for example, he talks about when the wife finds this magazine, which I've already said I believe is him trying to cope with the fact that his wife is sleeping, going around, or doing whatever, finding a reason for her not to love him. She talks about how she's going to shut down the server, and how is he going to be YouTuber #1 if he can't do the stuff. What I'm thinking when he says that, right? When he says that, it makes me think that his whole YouTube channel, just in general, is completely just his mind. All in all, just his mind. Thinking that his mind. He's trying to use his mind. His wife shuts down his mind. It completely consumes his thoughts about everything because it completely consumes his thoughts, and there's nothing that he can do because his wife is now leaving him and he can't think about anything but that. Another thing, right? Machines are built to do do their jobs, right? So if a machine cannot do his job, then he is defective, right? Well, his job is either A, to do his work, which then he wouldn't be working with his wife, thinking of his wife, or B, his job is to live a normal family life, right? Which is clearly not happening in his life. His family is completely disintegrating before his very eyes. In fact, you see that with him starting to sleep with his wife's friend, and you see that with his wife starting to sleep with the neighbor, which shows just a broken marriage. So he would fail in that. But humans make mistakes. Machines don't. Machines do what they're told. Humans aren't. Which this makes me think that the man in this story is a machine. Because he makes the mistake of sleeping with his wife, not giving her enough attention, or whatever it is. He makes the mistake of thinking about his wife over his job. Whatever his job is, he would make a mistake, which is only human, which makes him human. Getting on to the ideas that he leaves his all of these thoughts combined is what makes me think that this man is not a machine, he's just human. He makes mistakes just like us, and what's happening in his world is simply, it's all in all just crumbling before his eyes. And we just watching his mind break down. If you watch the show's real life sections, he doesn't seem all that broken. He seems almost glad that he's free from his own mind. He's glad that he doesn't have to think. He doesn't have to think about his life crushing before his eyes. But anyway, I was just like not even close to finishing. Anyway, so that's my idea of Dad. You guys tell me what you think about this. I know it was just me rambling about some random YouTube channel for a whole bunch of time, but I wanted to try something new, you know? Zombie Pigman, could you like not do this? I know you're trying to bully me into hitting you so that you and your comrades have a reason to attack me. As we talked about in last episode, all zombie pigmen are communists. Gosh, I'm sick of these gosh darn ghasts. Go cry somewhere else. Cry me a river here. Do it, I dare you. You can't even. Because it's the nether. It'll evaporate immediately. Wait, why do tears last in the nether if they're gas tears? Hiya, buddy. Hiya. Are they like all just over here? Because I'm like hearing hundreds of them. Not hundreds, but you get it. It was a hyperbole for gosh darn it. Because I've already almost smelted an entire stack. Yeah, well, you guys should check out that channel. Yeah, I did not hurt you there. You hurt yourself. I thought the smelter was only supposed to... Not the smelter, the furnace was only supposed to cook 80 blocks with the fuel of a lava bucket. Could it be like 8 stacks instead? Or is it, because it's in the nether, it's constantly fueled regardless? Ooh, that would be really cool. But then I'd be here mining all day, so... Granted, I could then have infinitely large... Granted. No, infinite is a good word for it, because the Minecraft world is infinite. Now, I gotta be careful here, because there is a drop here. GG. I'm so glad I'm not in hardcore mode. I was thinking about it, but then I would never go, new rules, never go into the nether without huge, large proper amounts of equipment. Okay, now quickly running in here to refill this. Coming around here. Now, why on earth is there just a random lava pocket? Anyway. Might as well pick up some bamboo shoots. So I can go back into the nether and have some sticks. Ooh. Probably should get some melons. My gosh, not a whole lot. So I just go like so, and bada boom, bada bing, bada boom. I have a crafting table, which let's just make 2 things. Hey, if you guys could hit like and subscribe, I will be posting about one of these videos a day, and I'll just be working on like making my YouTube identity overall. If you could hit like and subscribe, it can help more people see these videos. It can make it so that if you search up the name of this video, it can actually pop up on the videos recommended on YouTube instead of being you have to type in the name and the Minecraft, for my YouTube name. Oh, hello Gas, how are you doing, buddy? I'm sick of these freaking guys. Thinking about investing my investing in some gear to kill some spiders and make a bow. Well, I wouldn't need gear to kill a spider, they're pretty easy by themselves, but I could probably kill it with my pickaxe, but the point is I would take some time and invest in killing some spiders to just in general get some stuff, string to get a bow, and then I can make some arrows with my flint that I got from last episode, and some feathers that I got from killing a bird from the first episode. Yeah. Or I could just go around killing some skeletons. But those are like super annoying. Not for the arrows, but for the bow themselves. Did not bring a lot of wood. Hello, comrade. How are you doing? I see how it is. As soon as I call you by your name, you run away because you don't like me. I have a lot of netherrack now. Oh, hey, buddy. How are you? What? Now it runs out of steam? Oh, that was weird. So it makes just over a stack and a half, I guess. Okay, buddy, you gotta back off there. I do not have the gear to fight your kind. Okay, let's quickly go find a nice place to get some lava. Well, I can just go down there. Pretty nice staircase. I'm just wondering, right, if I break one of these... Oh, no. Well, let's mine some magma blocks. Just in case you guys didn't know, by shifting on magma blocks you don't take any damage. However, the second I stand up on these pathies, I get hurt. I need some more lava. Oof. Buddy, you gotta stop hurting yourselves. I know you guys have low self-esteem in that, but there's no reason to hurt yourself over it. Oh shoot, I forgot to say something. How about you don't do that, sir? You mind your own gosh darn business. Could you not blow up my bridge? You know what? Oh gosh darn it. So how are you guys liking the series so far? I mean, to the nether in the second episode, that's pretty fast, right? Granted, it's a pretty sucky nether. Not a whole lot. So how was your day? I mean, mine's been pretty good. We had some friends over. Oh my gosh. For those of you who know Skydus Minecraft, they refer to as gold as butter. And you know how a small knife is often referred to as a butter knife? That right there is a butter sword. Ha 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 ha. Let's do something. Since I would like to be interactive with you guys, yeah, just go put down in the comments below how your day was. I mean, there's not going to be a whole lot of people watching the comments anyways, because, you know, this is only held between a few friends. But, yeah, go ahead. That means less people to make fun of you. I mean, granted, I wouldn't make fun of you in the first place. What I meant to say was less people to worry about you and stuff. Anyway, right now I am going to place a few of these furnaces. To be precise, a couple of these furnaces. I only have one. That wouldn't work. I would need 5. Yeah. I'm seriously out of cobblestone? I didn't even know that was possible. My gosh, they've changed the textures of Minecraft so much. It's hard for me to recognize these things. Okay, so I have a few options, right? I currently have a friend who has a Minecraft server. His name is Connor. Now, I could play on Connor's server with him for like a couple of videos if you guys would like that. I mean, yeah. If that's a video that you would watch, I could make that for you. Connor's a pretty chill dude. Although I don't know if he's gonna even watch this video. I'll send a link out to him. Why the heck not? You know what I mean? Okay, I swear, if I find another gosh darn gas, I will break their sleeves. Now do I still burn? Oh my gosh, the burning increases if I teleport. That's crazy. Okay, now I'll just take out these buckets and I'll just wait for the smelting to stop, yeah. Now my question is, can I plug this in here? No. In that case, let me just wait for a couple more. Yeah. Ooh. Yeah. Let's continue on with our farm. I also have a brother, you know, same one who made me those cookies from last episode that I talked about. Yeah, I could ask him to join. We just have to fix his Minecraft. For some reason, it's broken. Beautiful. Don't you guys think so? I'm about to die, though. Yeah, let me just... For some reason, bread has more saturation, which is... for those of you who don't know, saturation is how it... For each food, it's different. I believe the longest one is golden carrots, followed by steak and pork chops and stuff. But saturation is what, once you reach full hungry, you start regenerating. The saturation of the food is what determines how long your regeneration lasts for. Beautiful. Probably should get some more slabs. Ooh, but I have another piece. I feel like a smarty pants. What are your guys' thoughts on Weird Al? Don't know if you've heard about him, but he's called Weird Al Yankovic. That's his name, or his YouTube name anyway. It's pretty... He makes parodies, songs and stuff. It's pretty funny. My favorite one has to be I'm Fat. Very relatable. But yeah. My gosh. I don't know what time you guys would be watching this, but for me right now, it's like just turned like 8:30, 8:40. This is probably gonna come out really late because these are hour-long clips and I don't know how to edit them. I guess I could learn, but what's the fun in that? Anyway, yeah. Let's see, it's 53 minutes. Let's take some seagrass and finally go breed our gosh darn turtles. So I figured out why I couldn't breed them previously. It was because I was in the nether, but hopefully... Ooh, nice. Niceness. Let's plant down. Pay it forward. Hopefully these saplings will pay me forward for planting them. Okay, let's see here. Hopefully. Nope, this one doesn't want to eat. Okay. We'll check back in with him in a little while. I don't want to do the other guy because I know that they won't breed because the one guy doesn't want the food. It's actually a blessing that I was able to find the guy who didn't want the food before the guy who did. Because otherwise I would have sucked. Now, as for exploring my world, what I'm really looking for, watching out for, is I'm waiting out for redstone. Which I'm not going to get without mining first, but we'll wait for the next video, I guess, because it's already 55. Anyway. As for Weird Al, his second favorite, close second favorite, has to be aluminum foil. I mean, polka dance is also really good, but gosh darn do I love myself some aluminum foil after that video. In fact, I want to see an ad. This is a quote from one of my friends from earlier. She wanted to see an aluminum foil company use that as their ad for aluminum foil. Still, gravity doesn't want to work for these guys. Anyway, let's start building with some nether brick. So, using all of this, I'm able to make myself some nether bricks. Now, using this, I can make stuff like this. Wait, what was that? That was weird. Let's think. I'll sleep on it. What do I want to build? I'll build my base. I can actually have a base now. Let's build it on top of this mountain. Let's start out right with, let's make an overhang. Probably only be able to make a platform with this amount of materials. Maybe not even finish it because math. Oh, speaking of which, yesterday I took the ACT test. It actually felt pretty good. And as for you, Cincy, I have no idea where the Lexi scores are. Sorry. Not that I now know where they are, but to find them, but I have no idea where my maps stuff is. To be quite frank, it was literally like not even a huge thing of this year for me, because my math teacher, like, I was in, as you guys probably know, I was in a 12th senior class this year for math and such. But yeah, so we didn't even like really go over the maps testing and stuff like that. But yeah, pretty lit all around. Now, I don't really care about my reading, my English math score. That math one though, if I don't keep it pristine, then I'd be sad. Well, that's all we got time for this episode. Remember, leave in the comments below how your day has been and what you like, didn't like. I know I'm gonna have a lot more didn't likes than likes. But yeah, see you guys in the next video. Bye.